Today, I'm gonna rank the top 20 funniest animated movies. I know that there's a lot of hilarious ones out there, but these ones right here really stand out the most. At number 20, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Mutant Mayhem. In this latest Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie, the focus was on the turtles as young inexperienced teenagers, which really gave the story a fresh feel. Unlike other versions of the story, this one didn't just focus on the ninja fighting and superpowers, but also on the goofy, hilarious moments that come with being a teenager. The jokes were spot on and the villains were really menacing. The visuals were also top-notch, which helped to elevate the overall experience.
What? You watch a movie with a human? You ratted us out. Hey, don't use that word that way.
It's clear that a lot of care and attention went into crafting this movie, and it paid off in spades. Even if you're not a die-hard fan of the franchise, you'll still find plenty to enjoy in this fun, fast-paced adventure. At number 19, Robin Hood. Robin Hood was released in the 1970s, when Disney wasn't exactly at its peak, but the movie has stood the test of time and is still loved by many people today. One of the things that make it so great is its sense of humor, which is especially evident in the song The Phony King of England. The title character Robin Hood is also really likable and charming. And then there's the villain Prince John, who is so over the top and funny that you can't help but laugh at his antics.
Your traps just never work. And now, look what you've done to your mother's castle.
And Peter Ustinov did a fantastic job playing Prince John, and his performance is a big part of what makes the movie so memorable. At number 18, Wallace and Gromit, The Curse of the Were Rabbit. This movie finally brought these two lovable characters to the big screen, and it was a hit. The story is set in a quaint English town where Wallace and Gromit have to deal with a giant rabbit that's ruining all the crops. What makes the movie so funny is not just the hilarious antics of Wallace and Gromit, but also all the little nods to old-school horror movies. The cast is fantastic, with Ralph Fiennes, Helena Bonham Carter, and Peter Sallis all bringing their A-game. Plus, the movie is so quintessentially English that you almost feel like you're in a cozy little village yourself.
If you ask me, this was arson.
Arson?
Aye, someone arsing around. That's right.
At number 17, Ice Age. This movie was a great start to the Ice Age franchise, and it's still a classic to this day. The movie centers around Manny, Sid, and Diego, a trio of animals living in the Ice Age. They have to team up to return a lost baby human to its tribe, and the journey is full of laughs, thanks to the amazing chemistry between the three main characters. The dialogue is really witty, and the voice acting is on point, which makes the whole thing even more entertaining. What makes Ice Age stand out from other animated movies is that it's not just funny, but also has some really heartfelt moments that'll tug at your heartstrings. It manages to balance the humor and the emotional depth really well, which is why it's such a memorable and enjoyable movie. Plus, who can resist those adorable prehistoric critters?
Boy, for a second there, I actually thought you were gonna eat me.
I don't eat junk food.
At number 16, Turning Red. Turning Red is a really great movie because it's both funny and heartfelt. Pixar is awesome at making animated movies that deal with real-life issues in a really entertaining way, and this movie is no exception. It's all about May, a Chinese-Canadian girl who starts turning into a giant panda whenever she gets too stressed out. It's got that classic Pixar humor and charm, but it also digs deep into the relationships between May and the women in her family, which is both touching and hilarious.
What are you doing here?
The ritual, She's lost weight.
No, she's gained weight.
She looks like her mother.
She looks like her father.
Ladies.
One of the best things about Turning Red is that it's not afraid to tackle some big complicated issues. It deals with everything from growing up and finding yourself, to dealing with family and cultural expectations, all in a really relatable and funny way. It's one of those movies that'll make you laugh, but also make you think. At number 15, Zootopia. Zootopia is one of Disney's best movies in recent years, hands down. It's got great humor, a fantastic cast, Jennifer Goodwin and Jason Bateman are perfect as Judy Hopps and Nick Wilde, and a really fun, clever story. The jokes are on point, and the dialogue is witty and engaging. But Zootopia isn't just a movie that'll make you laugh. It's also got a really thoughtful message about the dangers of stereotypes and assumptions. And the best part? It's not just a cookie-cutter Disney movie.
Blood, 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 and death.
All right, you know what, you're milking it.
The filmmakers really pushed the envelope and created a world that's fresh, original, and totally engaging. Plus, the chemistry between Judy and Nick is off the charts. You can't help but fall in love with them and root for them every step of the way. At number 14, Aladdin. Aladdin is a classic Disney movie from the Renaissance era that has it all. Awesome songs, a really great villain, a kick-ass heroine, and a hero you can't help but root for. But the star of the show is Robin Williams as the Genie. He brings so much energy and wit to the role, and the movie would definitely not be the same without him.
Genie, I need help.
All right, Sparky, here's the deal. If you want to court the little lady, you gotta be a straight shooter. Do you got it?
Williams' Genie is not just funny, but he's also got a lot of depth. He's got jokes for days, but he's also got heart. And that's what makes him one of the best Disney characters ever. And let's not forget the other standout elements of Aladdin. Jafar is a truly menacing villain, Jasmine is a strong and independent heroine, and Aladdin himself is a lovable scoundrel with a heart of gold. At number 13, Toy Story. Toy Story is a classic movie that's still as enjoyable today as it was when it first came out. Even though animation has come a long way since then, there's something really special and charming about this film. The humor is great. Woody and Buzz's bickering is still hilarious.
Buzz, look, an alien! Where?
But there's also a lot of heart in this movie. The characters are really well developed, and you can't help but care about them. That's why it's no surprise that Pixar has continued to make movies about these two characters. They're just so lovable and relatable. And even though the animation is a bit simpler than in later Pixar films, that doesn't take away from the charm and magic of Toy Story. It's a film that's sure to make you laugh, cry, and feel all the feels. At number 12, Hercules. Hercules may not be as highly regarded as other Disney Renaissance movies, but it's definitely one of the funniest. A lot of that has to do with James Woods' portrayal of Hades. He brings a fast-talking, smart alecky vibe that's unlike any other Disney villain, and it's hilarious.
I've got 24 hours to get rid of this bozo, and you are wearing his merchandise!
But it's not just Hades that makes the movie so entertaining. Megara, Hercules' love interest, is smart and sassy, and she's a great match for him. And then there's Philoctetes, the tough-talking no-nonsense trainer who's voiced by Danny DeVito. He's another source of comedy gold in this movie. At number 11, The Simpsons Movie. The Simpsons is a true American classic. It's been on TV for ages, and it's still as popular as ever. So it's no surprise that in 2007, the show made its way to the big screen with The Simpsons Movie. The movie was really clever in the way it expanded on what made the show so great. It kept the satire and the humor that fans love, but it also added in some heart and adventure that made it feel like a true movie experience.
Stay back, I got a chainsaw! Uh-oh.
What's really impressive is how authentic the movie felt. It didn't feel like a cheap cash grab, it felt like a natural extension of the show, but bigger and better. And while the movie was hilarious, it also had some really poignant moments that showed the depth and heart of the characters. It was a great balance that made the movie a truly enjoyable experience for fans and newcomers alike. At number 10, Chicken Run. Chicken Run may not be as popular these days, but it's still an excellent movie. It's a stop-motion film about chickens trying to avoid getting turned into pies, and it's both hilarious and a bit radical.
Look at this fish.
They're gonna kill themselves. Wanna watch?
Yeah, all right.
The slapstick humor is great, but there's also a lot of depth to this movie. The chickens are fighting for their freedom and equality, and there's a strong feminist and Marxist message throughout. It makes the movie really engaging and thought-provoking. Even though it's a movie about chickens, Chicken Run doesn't shy away from tackling some big issues. It's not just a light-hearted comedy, it's also a commentary on society and power structures. And let's not forget the animation, it's absolutely stunning. The stop-motion technique really adds to the charm and appeal of the film. At number 9, Madagascar. Madagascar was a real hit for DreamWorks back in the 2000s. The movie is about a bunch of zoo animals who end up in Madagascar, and it's pretty hilarious. The voice cast is awesome. Chris Rock, Ben Stiller, and David Schwimmer are all at the top of their game. What's really great about Madagascar is that it doesn't take itself too seriously.
Happy birthday to you. You live in a zoo. You look like a monkey. And you smell like 1, 2.
It's just a fun, entertaining ride that'll have you laughing the whole way through, and let's not forget the characters. They're all so memorable and unique. From Marty the Zebra to Alex the Lion, there's something for everyone to love in this movie. Plus, the animation is really great. The colors are vibrant and the characters are expressive, which adds to the overall charm of the film. At number 8, Kung Fu Panda. Jack Black is a comedic genius, and that's just as true in Kung Fu Panda as it is in his live-action movies. He voices the character of Po, a panda who has to become a kung fu master, and he's absolutely hilarious. The movie strikes the perfect balance between slapstick comedy and witty humor, and the animation is top-notch, which is no surprise coming from DreamWorks. The cast is just incredible. Jackie Chan, Dustin Hoffman, and Angelina Jolie all bring their A-game to their roles, and it really elevates the movie. Plus, the story is both funny and heartwarming.
You'll never be the Dragon Warrior unless you lose 500 pounds and brush your teeth. What is that noise you're making? Laughter? I never heard of it.
Po's journey from lazy panda to kung fu hero is really engaging, and you can't help but root for him the whole way. At number 7, Finding Nemo. Finding Nemo is an absolute gem of an animated movie. Pixar really hit it out of the park with this one. It's the story of a clownfish searching for his missing son, and it's both heartwarming and hilarious. Ellen DeGeneres is fantastic as Dory, a forgetful fish who helps Nemo's dad along the way. She's so funny and endearing, and her voice acting really adds to the charm of the movie. And let's not forget the visuals. The animation is stunning. The story itself is really well crafted too. It's a journey that takes Nemo's dad through all kinds of dangers and challenges, but it's also a story about the strength of parental love and the power of perseverance. At number 6, Fantastic Mr. Fox. Fantastic Mr. Fox is a stop-motion masterpiece that really captures the charm and quirkiness of Wes Anderson's style. It's an adaptation of Roald Dahl's book, and it's every bit as charming and funny as the original. The voice cast is absolutely fantastic. George Clooney, Meryl Streep, and Jason Schwartzman all lend their talents to the film, and their performances really add to the movie's humor and depth. The movie definitely has its share of dark moments, which is fitting for a Roald Dahl story, but it also has a ton of humor and whimsy that makes it really fun to watch.
Are you cussing with me?
No, you cussing with me?
Don't cuss and point
You're
at me.
gonna cuss with someone, you're not gonna cuss with me, you little cuss.
Me.
And the stop-motion animation is stunning. It gives the movie a unique and charming aesthetic that really fits the tone of the story. At number 5, SpiderMan Into the Spiderverse. Into the Spiderverse is a fresh and fun take on the classic Spider-Man story. It's got all the heart and action of the original comics, but it also brings something new to the table. One thing that makes this movie stand out is the humor. It's got a really fun and playful tone that helps to distinguish it from the other Spider-Man films.
Hofstadter is suggesting is that we would on the.
And the animation style is really unique. It's got this kinetic textured style that's unlike anything we've seen in an animated movie before. Shameik Moore does a fantastic job as Miles Morales, because he brings a lot of energy and humor to the role, and he's really fun to watch. At number 4, The Emperor's New Groove. The Emperor's New Groove was underrated when it first came out, but it's since gained a lot of fans because of its hilarious dialogue and great voice acting. David Spade, John Goodman, Eartha Kitt, and Patrick Warburton all bring their A-game to the movie, and the humor never lets up. There's a really frenetic energy to the jokes, and it's really entertaining to watch. The movie also breaks away from the traditional Disney formula, which is refreshing.
This isn't poison. This is extract of llama. Ugh.
It's not your typical Disney movie, but that's part of what makes it so great, and the animation is really well done too. It's not as elaborate as some other Disney movies, but it's still visually striking and entertaining. At number 3, Shrek. Shrek is one of those movies that stands the test of time. Even though it's been over 20 years since it first came out, it's still just as funny and entertaining as ever. Mike Myers does an amazing job as Shrek. His voice acting is really on point, and he's got great comedic timing. Cameron Diaz and Eddie Murphy also bring their A-game, and the whole cast has fantastic chemistry. What makes Shrek so great is that it doesn't take itself too seriously. It's a send-up of fairy tales and classic Disney movies, but it's also just a really fun and entertaining movie in its own right.
Well, let me put it this way, Princess. Men of Farquaad stature are in short supply.
The animation is also really well done. The characters are expressive and memorable, and the world of Shrek is colorful and engaging. At number 2, The Lego Movie. The Lego Movie is a really fun and entertaining one. It's got everything you want in a good film: great story, colorful animation, and hilarious voice acting. One thing that really makes this movie stand out is its humor.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the Lego Movie.
It's smart and witty, and it keeps you engaged throughout. The writing is really sharp, and it takes the familiar world of Lego and spins it in a new and creative way. The voice cast is also top-notch. Chris Pratt is really charming and likable as Emmett. He's got great comedic timing, and he really brings the character to life. Will Ferrell is great as Lord Business. He's funny and menacing at the same time, and he's a great foil for Emmett, and Elizabeth Banks also brings her A-game as Wildstyle. And finally, at number 1, The Lego Batman Movie. The Lego Batman Movie is a hilarious spin-off of the Lego Movie that takes all the things we love about Batman and turns them up to 11. Will Arnett absolutely kills it as Batman. He's got this over-the-top growly voice that perfectly spoofs Christian Bale's performance in the Dark Knight trilogy, and it's just hilarious to listen to.
No, 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 no.
You even make some new friends.
No, 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 no. No!
The movie also does a great job of poking fun at the superhero genre in general. It's like a love letter to Batman and comic book culture, but it also doesn't take itself too seriously, and the animation is just as colorful and inventive as it was in the Lego Movie. The Lego aesthetic is really well suited to the world of Batman, and it adds to the overall humor and charm of the movie.